All right, it's just a few minutes after 5:30. I will call the October 28th Town of Milton Board of Selectmen meeting to order. First up, we have the school board with anticipated revenue discussion. Doug?
Great, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doug Shute, Milton School Board. I have
Peg Hurd. Emily Meehan.
Bobby Adams.
here with me, okay? The reason we're coming to you is that we have some major projects that are real serious we need to get done. We got some anticipated revenue. You got unanticipated, we got anticipated. The amount is $361,003. Okay, and that would be, if you got your packet, that would be page 1. I gave you it. You should follow along in chronological order. Okay, you go to page 2. We called the attorney. He laid the schedule up, how he had to do it. You had the opportunity to do it different, a little more in depth, because it was anticipated. So, all right. Page 3 is the law. Now, if you go to page 4, what we have is a fire alarm in 2 buildings that we're having a problem with, and an air handler at MES. And what it is, these are health issues and safety issues. And if any one of these issues go down, we're not going to be able to occupy the building. Okay? Just quickly go to page 5B on the air handler. This is from Devon, your assistant fire chief. We have to have, no, it should be this page right here, 5B. We have to have a fire alarm in the school. So that's the bottom line on that. What it is, we have an air handler and a fire alarm at MES and the alarm system at the high school. And what it is Faraday Siemens, as of 2018, will not be making the parts anymore for the fire alarm, I'm sorry. So that's going to be an issue, okay? So if that goes down, we're going to have trouble getting parts because they're not going to be making them anymore. But right now, we're able to find what we need right now. So then the other one's the air handler at MES. That's gotten real noisy. So that's running on a wing and a prayer. So what we're telling you, we're going to have a meeting to take that money. We have to do, if you go to page 4, that's the one you're looking at right now, Andy, on your right. Yeah. Okay. That we have to come up with 2 engineering studies. It'll be this one, right there. Okay. Should say page 4 and keep
Going,
pages.
go back.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There you go. It's a CIP chart. So we have to do 2 engineering studies up front, the 2 of them. If you have any good questions about what's going on, we can bring Bob up. And Bob, correct me if I'm saying something wrong. The one for the fire alarm for both the 2 schools is going to cost us, it's the engineering study is $25,000. And the air handler is going to be $31,000 to do the engineering study. Now that's not the project. We'll get the cost for what the project's. The estimated cost, if you look on the chart, to do the air handler is about $161,000. Once we get the engineering, that's a rough estimate. And right above it is the fire alarm on yours. Well, we've changed the priority and made the air handler first and the fire alarm second. But I'm going to let you know up front, the estimate has been increased to do the 2 fire alarms in both schools from $300,000 to $400,000. Okay? And what we're going to do is take that 361, see if we get it, to do the 2 engineering studies and definitely do the air handler right off. And what we can do, where we're having issues with the parts, for the fire alarm, we'll save the parts from one building to have them on hand to be used on the second building and not do that project, immediately, so there won't be a crisis. Or if something breaks down in that second building, we can use the parts from the first building. So we've been told for next year, we should be getting more money coming in that was not anticipated by the school from adequacy aid. So maybe what we're gonna try to do, and see if we can do it legally, is take some of that money like we're gonna try to do now and put it toward these projects. And we've started the information is November 1st. It should be on your chart in there. I will give all the information to the people at the meeting. It'll be this chart right here. So we posted for November 1st. Okay, that's all set and ready to go. It'll be at the high school, the cafeteria. We've got it set up to go with it. And then what we gotta do is we're waiting for the warrant article from our attorney to write it correctly. And then we gotta send it off to the DRA and make sure it's legal, the warrant article. And that will be for November 15th. And that's when we'll go to the voters and ask them to do this. What I'm here to also ask you for is to come to our meeting on the 1st and the 15th and give us your support for the kids because of health issues and safety issues. Now, if you have any technical questions, you can ask Bob, because that's not my expertise, it's Bob's. If you have a question, I'll try to answer as best as I can.
So
That's why I'm here to inform you.
I just, for clarification, on the fire alarm system,
Go ahead.
the fire alarm system currently is working. There's no
Correct.
issues. The concern is the current fire alarm manufacturer no longer is going to support that system, correct?
Bob,
So if there's any parts that break down, it may be a problem getting the part. But today, the fire alarm is fully functional, working up to,
we are having issues with it, though. Minor issues right now. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah. What happens is typical thing would be a fire alarm or pull station fails. So when it does, what happens is we can get the parts, sometimes they're not new parts, they're used parts, and our local fire department is aware of that as well. And so sometimes a little bit of a time delay too. But as long as it's not the main computer, then we can work around that usually.
I guess I just want to make sure
That's
the
a good
public,
point
the
to bring
public
that up.
realizes that
Mhm.
we have a fire alarm in place that is working as it should be. We're having a typical issues, it sounds like, like we would with any system that's
Correct.
older. But I just want to make sure that the public understands the fire alarm is safe and working at the
It's
school
safe and
today.
compliant.
And we're compliant. yeah.
Right
Just
now.
be-
I just want to clarify that right now.
It just,
It was tested this summer, it is annually.
But the air handle is the number one priority. And if that goes down, then
So, again,
Bob, I think I would like to have you tell them how old the air handler is. It was in the report that,
before we get to the air handle, though, I have more questions for the
Okay.
fire alarm.
Oh, yeah, go
If you
ahead.
don't
Yeah.
mind. So, I mean, this isn't something that just we found out about yesterday,
Correct.
right? So what have we been doing in the past that we knew that we were gonna have to take care of these things in the future? What, have we done anything?
Well, this is all a planning stage, because the information was only a little bit over a year old.
But
When
it's
we
not,
received it.
but where I'm going is this thing's
Yep.
supposedly gonna be no good in another year, or, I mean, have we
No.
done any planning in the
That's
past?
not the statement, and, the board chair is trying to square us up on that. The issue is, long-term, it will become increasingly difficult to get parts.
Right,
And at some point in time, it would be hard to source the main computer.
mm-hmm,
so we're acting now. This
Right.
is our planning stage.
okay.
And that's why we're looking at a two-tier or a two-stage project, where we could select one of the two buildings and save the parts, because at least the parts are the same, including the motherboard, it just
Yeah.
has to be reprogrammed.
I understand all that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
totally
know.
understand all that.
but in this,
Yeah.
in this
go ahead.
email, it says to service these systems beyond 2018, end of life date issued by Siemens. Well, if that was 2018 was almost, now we're coming up on 2020. So how come, it's like Windows, when Windows operating systems prepare to go, to be obsolete, we know for years prior that it's going to be obsolete. So if this says that in 2018, and I want to just understand why
I think it's the same
we've
question.
waited, but why have we waited so
Let me be
long?
clear, we only found out about it when we got that information. We didn't know that that was going to happen. So our knowledge of that is only a little bit over a year,
And
unlike
how old
Windows
is the
example.
system?
Unlike the Windows example.
How old is the system?
The elementary school is 2005. And the high school, middle school is 2008. And it was extended to be able to cover the middle school edition when we built that.
So our idea was to get it onto the CIP, and that's what we're doing.
And how long has your CIP been in place?
We just started the process.
Is there
Last
any,
year.
grants, any type of grants for this, for these sort of systems?
I'm not the one to ask.
What's that?
I'm not the one to ask that question.
We're not aware, when the state came up with safety and security funds,
Yeah.
we applied for that to cover the the fire alarm systems,
Mm-hmm.
and that was denied.
No, I'm just,
Yep, good question.
just, I mean, chief's always getting grants or some sort of fire, and I just was curious if you, but it seems like you've done your due diligence
Yep.
on that, so.
So you guys are really here tonight to inform us on what you're doing, what your
Yeah.
plan is.
But these aren't the
and-
only projects that we need to add to the CIP. We're holding off on the other projects, but they'll be coming later on.
But this
They're
all
not
has
as-
to do with
They're not as
the
critical as these.
money that
We
You're-
have the
you're gonna
opportunity.
get.
Actually, I think this money was a blessing in disguise. Because I would have hated to go onto the voters and ask them for this type of money. And by taking this money, you'll see no rise on the majority of that project in your tax rate from this goal. Okay? By taking this 361 and setting aside, it won't cover all all 3 projects, but it'll put a good sized dent in it.
But we're still going to continue on with the CIP.
Oh, yes.
So for future
We think the
years, we're
CIP
not.
is a good project,
Okay.
yes. Good idea. We don't have the expertise that some of your department heads have, or you have on the CIP. We're just getting our feet wet. So we're gonna need anybody can give us any help, or Bruce has been helpful, real helpful. But any help we can get, we need. We know what we need for the future, and that's why we're here. Just to let the people in the town know.
all right. Is there any?
The air handler is number 1. It's gotta be done.
A handle is vintage 88, and so the issue with that is it's actually almost it's built in the hallway, so our mechanical contractor look at tearing it apart and trying to do a rebuild, where we would have literally had to take down two upper walls on each side of a corridor to even try and do anything on it, and it just wouldn't be practical in the long haul. So it makes more sense to replace it.
I just wanted to add that reading from Harriman on the air handler, the quote-unquote shelf life is 20 to 25 years, and ours is 30-something years old.
Almost 32.
So the fact that it's still semi-running noisily and not as efficiently as it should
If
be.
you'd like to hear it, we've got an invite to cover the school. Yes. I'd like to invite you.
Yeah, listen to it.
Now, when you do the handle, we're gonna have to do it on the first floor and the second floor. If you look on the chart, there's 2 floors there.
And this is really just a schedule for this proposal to go in front of the voters and town meeting. So
The 15th.
for the right, so they
First is
can
information only.
residents can come and
Ask questions like you're asking.
Yep.
But we we'd like you to come and we'd like your support, please.
All right.
So have you come up with a plan? I mean, I'm just playing devil advocate here now. Have you come up with a plan if it doesn't pass at the special election? If unfortunately it doesn't pass?
Well, you're gonna see it in March.
Okay.
So I think we
No, I
can do.
was just curious.
Either that or
if you-
close the schools. That's the bottom line. And if you think it's gonna be cheaper by shipping them out, you're wrong.
Oh, I didn't even.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
people think that, but they're wrong. Because you're gonna have no control over your costs once your kids leave this town. That's a fact.
I think the key thing to frame this, I think you hit it on the head. It works now, but if it fails, the school has to be shut down. And this allows us to go out to compete as far as bids are concerned and do it in the right way.
I think we work fast and promptly, we have enough time to take care of it.
Okay, hopefully,
More questions?
we just, we're getting towards, the end here, setting the tax rate. And, it's just gonna, I know this isn't you guys' fault, but, I wouldn't wanna have to take a tangent because, the town can't collect taxes because
It's
it's,
not gonna hold you up that much.
okay.
We
Alright.
reviewed it in Peg, you wanna say something about that, please?
Yes, I will state that I don't think I have ever gotten a tax bill on December 1st. Last year, I checked out my checkbook and I paid my taxes early on December 18th. 1 year, it was not until January. So,
Okay.
a week or two.
No, what you gotta realize, we're not the only town or school that's in this situation.
Mhm.
You were lucky, your money was unanticipated. If it was done that with us, we wouldn't be here. We'd have one school board meeting and we'd have it taken care of. We can't do that,
Mm.
Yeah.
so.
And there was nothing, when the budget was finally approved, there was nothing put in there basically giving school districts an out, how we could just take it and spend it. We had to go through this process in order to accept it and then spend it, which is really unfortunate. And there are a couple of other towns in the state that our attorney is helping. But I spoke to the director of the School Board Association, and he said up and down the state, towns are just up in arms because they can't do anything about it.
Mhm.
So we at least have been very proactive. As soon as I found out that it was anticipated and we couldn't just accept it and spend it, I was on the phone, what can we do, what can we do, what can we do? And found out what we could do, and we just have been following along and have the process in place now, so.
Mhm. All right. That's all I have.
Thank
Thanks.
you very much.
Thanks, guys.
So can we see you on the 1st and the 15th?
First, and the 15th. I'll do my best.
I will.
6
Yes.
o'clock? Okay.
New cafeteria.
PM, yeah, PM, 1 AM.
6 a.m.
Have a good night, folks.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank you guys. And just again, so it's the first public hearing is November 1st at 6 PM at the school caf, and the
Yes.
second one is November 15th.
Right,
Correct.
and that's the actual
And-
general,
What time is, okay, that's the
Where
general
people
vote. Yep,
yeah. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, I believe this concludes our meeting,
Yes.
so we'll go into our work.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Earl, I'm sorry.
So I'll adjourn the meeting. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I'll make a motion that I won't make a motion to open workshop until it's 6 o'clock, so we'll take a little bit more than a
6-minute recess.
5-minute break here. No.
No,
So here's,
don't
I was
worry
trying to
about
make
that,
the school
Lynette.
thing, how
they're a little
Charlotte-
bit different. I'll tell you what's different about them.
Is that it?
Probably not. I'll probably screw it up.